Hey, what's up, everybody? Mike Lindsley back with you. It is 9 minutes with me here from Rosie's Corner. It is Friday with your fish sandwich or your entree. Stop in for lunch, stop in for dinner, and pair it with that awesome macaroni and cheese. It's all homemade. It's so delicious. Or the fries and coleslaw. I just assume get it all with your fish dinner. That's my advice, no question about it. Get on down here for the Fish Friday. And of course, all the pizza and wing options are available here as well. Try the Gold Fever, try the Garlic Parm. And of course, they've got your desserts and Pepsi products to go and other salads and things like that in the cooler. Get on down here to Rosie's Corner. Pizza, wings, pasta, hot and cold subs and more. Lasagna stuff, shells and burgers. And it's just a great place to be. On Grubhub, they are available there. Go like them on Facebook and follow them on Instagram. Rosie's Corner is a proud ML Sports Platter sponsor. All right, I want to get into the career of Albert Pujols. First of all, I'm stunned that the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, who, by the way, were called the California Angels last night on Pardon the Interruption by Tony Kornheiser. I thought that was hilarious. I was stunned to see them cut Albert Pujols. I mean, they DFA'd him. And the reason is because, look, you signed him to a 10-year deal. So the last couple of years when he was aging into his upper 30s, early 40s, so he was good enough to be on the roster and be an average player, but you couldn't show enough respect for one of the greatest baseball players of all time to just keep him on the roster this year. I mean, is Albert Pujols really going to cost you a World Series if you DH him 25 more games this season? Is he really going to be that absolute difference maker? Is he really going to logjam your roster? What is Albert Pujols going to block? Who is he going to block? Is he going to block a double-A player coming up and having an impact like Bobby Jenks did for the Chicago White Sox in the World Series run of 2005? I don't think so. I think this was a complete slap in the face to Albert Pujols and total disrespect. Why would you not just complete the contract and honor it and allow him to play on the team? And oh, by the way, Albert Pujols is a big-time postseason guy. What happens if the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim make the playoffs? Don't you want Albert Pujols to have a couple of at-bats in the postseason? Yeah, he might strike out. He might hit into some double plays, but I would take my chances with an old Albert Pujols in the postseason over most of the players on the Angels because he's been there before. He knows the moment. He can coach a lot of the young players through the postseason and the pressure and what it's like and all the rest. And oh, by the way, Mike Trout has only been to one postseason his entire career. Ridiculous. I thought it was a total slap in the face to one Albert Pujols. Now, where could he end up? Who knows? I think he'll have to be in the American League because of the designated hitter. He just can't play the field anymore. I know a lot of people want him to go to St. Louis, but there's no room for him there. There's no DH. Paul Goldschmidt is an all-star type first baseman. You're not going to play Albert Pujols over Paul Goldschmidt. I know it'd be a nice feel-good story. But also, Pujols left St. Louis for as much as he was a St. Louis legend there, and I'll get to that here in a minute as well. For as much as that was the case, and there's a lot of Cardinal fans who are still bitter about him going and chasing more money with the Angels. He could have finished his career in St. Louis like some of the other icons and maybe signed for 8 years and then gotten a contract on the back end of that. But neither here nor there. He's an icon. He's going to go down as one of the great players of all time. And frankly, he may just be the best hitter I've ever seen. And I've lived through the Wade Boggses and the Cal Ripken Jr.'s and the Tony Gwynns and the Barry Bonds and the Miguel Cabreras, all these different players. Albert Pujols, 3-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, and he has 2 World Series rings as well. And if you look at the numbers from Albert Pujols for the first 10, 11, it's 11 seasons with the St. Louis Cardinals, the home runs, batting average, RBI, OBP, slugging, and OPS numbers are through the roof. And had it not been for Barry Bonds' steroid years, I'm convinced Albert Pujols, and we don't know if Albert Pujols took anything, by the way, but, the proof is in the pudding with Bonds. We at least know that. I think Albert Pujols might have won upwards of 5, 6, or even 7 MVPs if Bonds didn't win them while on steroids, right? And so you look at these numbers, you could put those numbers, that first 11 years in a Cardinal uniform, up against literally anybody in the game. And I am not, a prisoner of the recent times or waxing poetic about just the last 20 years. You folks know my baseball, my baseball historical factoring in of all this stuff. He was Ted Williams. I mean, you could compare him to anybody in the game. Ted Williams, DiMaggio, Garrick, Ruth, Tris Speaker. You could compare him to Frank Robinson, Stan Musial, Mantle. You could compare him to anybody, really. Ernie Banks. He was as good as anybody in the game of baseball for those 11 years. And when you talk about his St. Louis place all time, he'll eventually have the number retired and all the rest. You think about Lou Brock, you think about Stan Musial, you think about Red Schoendienst, you think about Bob Gibson, and you have Albert Pujols. I mean, those are that's the main core. Ozzie Smith is probably in that group as well. But when you talk about the greats and you talk about the beloved nature of these players, who's the greatest Cardinal of all time? It's probably between Stan Musial, Bob Gibson, and Albert Pujols. I think those are the top three guys. I think they're on the Mount Rushmore. I think they're on a movable Mount Rushmore people. Maybe you throw a Tony La Russa on there. You throw somebody way back with the Gas House Gang or someone else, from another era. I think Albert Pujols, I mean, he's on my lifetime baseball team. He's my first baseman. And I think you could argue him on the all-time team as a first baseman. I have Lou Gehrig as my first baseman on that particular roster, but probably Pujols backing him up, right? And so that's what we're dealing with Albert Pujols. We're dealing with crazy amounts of home runs. I think he has 667 as I record this. You think about the postseason moonshots and the clutch hits and winning 2 rings, and in his prime he fielded the bag at first base impeccably well. Rookie of the year, three MVPs, the 2 World Series, making everybody around him better. He's a guy in the lineup who you had to pitch around. He had that effect. He had the effect of, like in football with Lawrence Taylor, you have to game plan your offense around one player. You had to basically plan a lineup around that one guy, and Albert Pujols. He was that good with St. Louis. And with the Angels, he wasn't a superstar player by any stretch of the imagination for the entirety of his career. In the beginning, he had a few decent years, but then he had, above average years. He had better years at 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41 than most players in Major League Baseball. The problem is, of course, the contract. When you look at the amount of money that they were paying Albert Pujols and how that money got bigger and bigger and bigger as the years went on, how the prorated tactic was used by the Angels. When you look at the money compared to the player, certainly wasn't worth it. But all-time, Albert Pujols, 20-plus years in the bigs, 3 MVPs, a World Series, 2 World Series, a Rookie of the Year, all the unbelievable accolades. He was clutch as hell, great in the field for a good stretch. And that first decade, 10, 11 years where he was with the St. Louis Cardinals, as good as anybody who's ever played the game of baseball. He will waltz in to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. And I thought the Angels, a total slap in the face by cutting Albert Pujols. Mike Lindsley with you here. ML Sports Platter Podcast is available all over the major platforms. Make sure you download, subscribe, leave feedback, and a 5-star review. We're brought to you here by Rosie's Corner. Unbelievable place to come and eat pizza and pasta, hot and cold subs, and more. And of course, the Fish Friday is available today. Your sandwich or your lunch for your lunch, or your entree version for dinner as well. Mac and cheese is available all day, homemade there as well. Fries and coleslaw to go along with that fish, or mac and cheese if you prefer that. Rosie's Corner, get on down here. A proud ML Sports Platter sponsor. As I always tell you, enjoy the games.